Okay. Um, Hello. Uh, I almost made this live stream for anyone to watch because I have some friends that I just a few minutes ago told about the place, told about both of my YouTube channels. And Kelly is on Marco Polo. Um, but I don't know if she'll be able to get on or not because, I told her Kelly was one of my friends that I told about this. I was getting ready to message Brooke and let her know that I was on, but maybe she'll pop on. We'll see. So, for those of you that haven't been able to pop on, especially the ones that I just told, which was my friend Anna and my friend Kelly, I guess the only way you're going to be able to view my live stream is to join. Sorry, I just didn't want to run the risk. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to my channel anyway. I don't, I've only got a handful of followers and subscribers anyway. So it's not a monetary thing at all, really, for me. I just trying to like do my own thing, I guess, on YouTube and just like so many. But I may have to put this camera at a different angle because, yeah, that's the wrong angle. The sun's whitewashing me out. There we go. That's a little better. I know my wig don't look much better than my regular hair today, but we'll see if Anna or Kelly can pop on. I miss them. They're my people from Winding Road. Haven't talked to any of them in a while, but I decided to call this live stream Chaos Random, Cluster Fudge, because I didn't want to say the, FUC dot word, because I cuss a lot on here and I'm trying to not do that. So, hopefully Kelly and Anna will join. That would be nice, but then that would also, I would have to make sure that I am on here more consistently and everything. So this is at least one way that we can kind of communicate, and I still communicate with the Marco Polo stuff, and I'll see what Kelly messaged me here in a little bit. But I'm going to be doing several things today. Um, I'm going to be doing the three nature cards, the blue book lesson 5. Now I think I'm up to lesson 5. Um, a daily, random from one of my random tarot decks card for today. And if anybody pops on and they would like me to do them a daily card, I will just say, hey, do me a daily card, and then I'll do it from the same deck. I haven't been able to stick with my schedule because there's chaos going on around me. Part of the drawbacks of being a phoenix. It's like the way I explain it, it's explosive highs and explosive lows, in the sense that there's either a bunch of really, really good going on, or there's a bunch of really, really bad. So it kind of varies. And like, I went to my mom's yesterday and was trying to help her out with her food stamps because there's still issues with that. And Chris was able to determine that, her status seems to be valid. She's got 300 and something on her stamps right now, but I don't know when they're going to load her next batch of stamps, and that's irrelevant to anything on here that I'm trying to do today, but that's just random, side personal stuff of mine. So to start off with, I guess I will do the next 3 nature cards, and I will message Brooke later if she don't end up popping on here, and let her know that I did another live stream, because I don't know if she gets notifications or up there where she's at in England or not. And I also try to keep my voice down to, like, my indoor voice. because Chris is trying to lay down and I don't want to disturb that. So I'm going to start off with the next 3 nature cards. And if you want to know what the nature cards are about, then you'll have to go back and look at some of my other videos or YouTube live streams that shows the other cards. Because right now we're group 1 card 19. And I do 3 each time, each live stream. So we are up to dandelion. While we usually think of the dandelion we see growing freely in fields as a weed, especially when it pops up on our lawns, this ubiquitous plant not only provides a tasty salad green, but has a strong diuretic effect, which can be beneficial to liver function. Plant facts. Dandelion is a member of the composite family. The stems, which, like the leaves, yield a milky substance, can reach a length of 16 inches. The leaves taste bitter, while the roots are bittersweet. The whole plant exudes a faint, buttery, sharp odor for supporting liver, gallbladder, and kidney function. Origin. The dandelion is native to the entire northern hemisphere. The plant grows almost everywhere in meadows, yards, gardens, between cobblestones, and on walks. Old walls. Components. The plant contains bitters that stimulate digestive secretions. Dandelion also contains triterpenes, triterpenes. If anyone knows what that means, I can't pronounce it. Sterols, phenolic acids, coumarins, and in the leaves and blossoms, flavonoids as well. Its remarkably high potassium content, up to 4.5%, makes it an excellent diuretic since it does not deplete the body of this essential mineral. Indications. Because of its well-balanced medicinal ingredients, the dandelion has played an important part as a healing supplement in traditional medicine. It is a mild stimulant for the gallbladder and liver, helping them get rid of waste products and increasing bile flow. Its effect on the liver makes dandelion beneficial for treating gout, rheumatism, and skin diseases. Dandelion is useful in treating acne, eczema, and psoriasis, as it reduces the body's efforts to eliminate toxins through the skin. In addition, dandelion relieves digestive complaints such as bloating and flatulence. As an aromatic bitter, it stimulates appetite and promotes digestion. And bring it to a boil. Simmer gently for about 10 minutes. Strain. Drink 1 cup of this tea up to 3 times a day. Tincture. Prepare 2/3 of an ounce of dandelion root with 3 ounces of alcohol, brandy, or vodka. Let it stand for 4 to 6 weeks. Filter. Take 30 drops with a little water 3 times a day. Root juice. Simmer a 1/3 ounce of chopped roots with 1 cup of water for 15 minutes and then filter. Drink 2 cups of the juice daily between meals. Spring tonic. The root juice and the tea decoction are suitable for a spring or fall tonic, especially as a remedy for liver or gallbladder dysfunction. Drink 1 cup of tea or 1 tablespoon of juice twice a day for 4 to 6 weeks. Wine. Yes, you can make dandelion wine. Let 1.5 ounces of dried root steep in white wine for about 10 days, then filter. Drink 4 ounces a day. Next card, chamomile. An essential natural first aid remedy in home health care. Chamomile has been one of the most popular medicinal plants for centuries. Of the 2 major forms of the herb, German and Roman, German chamomile is the one most often used in the United States. Plant facts. Chamomile, a member of the daisy family, has thin, tapering roots and can grow up to 20 inches tall. This annual plant exudes a distinctive, strongly aromatic scent, and the flower has a slightly bitter taste. Origin native to the Near East and to southern and eastern Europe. Chamomile today grows throughout Asia, Europe, Australia, Africa, and North and South America. The yellow and white flowers is a common sight in meadows, alpine valleys, vacant lots, and home gardens. Parts used. Only the flower heads are used for tea. The flowering tops, the flower plus 2 to 3 inches of the stem, are used medicinally. Helps with skin inflammations, digestive disturbances, and pain. Components. Chamomile contains a volatile oil consisting of chamazoline and bisaboloids. Other ingredients include flavonoids, which have antispasmodic actions, mucilage, a gelatinous substance, bitters, coumarins, choline, um, sulfur, and calcium. Indications. Chamomile is valued for its calming, anti inflammatory, antispasmodic, and gas relieving properties. Internally, it relieves flatulence, stomach aches, intestinal cramps, and menstrual pains, and promotes the healing of peptic ulcers. In addition, chamomile helps combat insomnia, as well as allay nerve pain, such as that caused by facial neuralgia. Applied externally, as a compress or oil, it nourishes the skin. Extra tip: during hot summer months, when you may not want to drink a warm beverage, opt for chamomile ice cubes. Prepare the tea as usual and freeze the liquid in ice cube trays. Huh. These chamomile ice cubes will not only relieve stomach discomfort, but will cool you down. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that about chamomile. How about that? Methods of administration. Tea. Pour 1 cup of hot water over 2 teaspoons of dried flowers. Cover the cup to retain the volatile oil. Steep for 10 minutes. Strain. Sip 2 or 3 times, or 2 or 3 cups of the tea every day. Cups. Let's see. Chamomile tea can also be used as a gargle. Oil. Mix 1 3/4 ounce of dried and crushed flowers with 1 pint of olive oil. Expose it to the sun for 10 days, then filter. Store the mixture in a dark bottle. Rub it on the skin or lips to relieve chapping. Tincture. This alcoholic extract has potent healing properties. Ready-made tinctures are available in health food stores and can be used in hot compresses, baths, and aromatherapy. Powder. Crush dry chamomile flowers finely in a mortar. Take a scant 1 teaspoon of the powder 3 times a day with meals. Homeopathy. The homeopathic remedy called chamomilla can be used to treat acute pain. Try a 12 by or 12x or 30C strength. Wine. Let 1 3/4 ounce of dried crushed flowers steep in 1 quart of dry white wine for 10 days. Strain. Drink a small glass each day as a digestive aid. And last for today, for the nature cards anyway, linden. The lindens, sometimes called lime trees, are of the family Tillacea, which comprises more than 700 species of trees and shrubs. The pale yellow linden flowers are used to make a tea that has long been accepted as a remedy for feverish colds. Linden can also ease tension and calm an anxious mind. Plant facts. Linden can grow to a height of 100 feet and has blooms that have a spicy taste and sweet aroma. The bark on linden is brown to gray and becomes cracked and furrowed with age. The leaves, which were once added to tobacco, are dark green on top and gray-green underneath. Origin. Linden trees grow in Europe, North America, and Asia in moderate and warm climate zones. In mixed deciduous forests, they are also often planted along city streets, in parks, and on large estates. Parts used. The flowers of the linden tree are the part most commonly used for medicinal purposes, and they are almost exclusively imported from Asia. Linden leaves, bark, and charcoal are also used in home remedies. Components. The flavone glycosides in linden are partially responsible for the herb's valuable sweat-inducing effects. The essential oil of the flowers, containing Terpenes, Terpenes, also encourages perspiration. Its high levels of mucins help relieve irritation. Linden also contains tannins, which tighten tissues and promote immunity. Indications primarily because of its ability to induce sweating. Linden flower tea is used to prevent and treat feverish colds, stubborn coughs, and flu like symptoms. Plus, it may relax intestinal and menstrual cramps and aid in strengthening the immune system. Traditional medicine has long relied on linden flower tea as a gentle tonic for the heart and circulatory system. Finally, it is also suitable to give children. Daily ritual: an infusion with linden flowers makes a refreshing toner for the skin. Apply sparingly to soothe and tighten the skin and to help alleviate mild skin irritations. Linden flowers can also be used in steam facials and hair rinses. For fevers, colds, and stubborn coughs. Methods of administration: tea for inducing sweat. To ease a fever, drink the tea as hot as you can tolerate. Pour 1 cup of boiling water over 1 to 2 teaspoons of fresh or dried linden flowers. Steep for 10 to 15 minutes. Drink 1 cup 2 to 4 times a day. Sweeten with honey if desired. Calming bath. A linden bath will calm nerves, quiet anxiety, and prepare you for restful sleep. Bring 3.5 ounces of fresh or dried linden flowers to a boil in about 2 quarts of water. Steep for at least 10 minutes. Strain and add to your bath water. Poultice for wounds. Pour half a cup of water over 1 cup of dried or fresh linden flowers. Allow leaves to become saturated. Strain but do not squeeze. Apply the saturated leaves directly on open or poorly healing wounds. Keep a cloth or towel beneath the affected area to soak up extra moisture. Leave on for 20 to 30 minutes. So, next time I live stream, the card I will be starting with will be, it's called Savory, Sabory. And hopefully this will never become an issue, but just on the off chance that it could, I can't promise that I'm gonna forever be able to put these on here. Um, because if somehow word gets back to the company that did this, that made these, finds out that I'm using them in such a way, they might get upset or, demand some kind of money for using their information or whatever. But it's my way of kind of paying forward and hoping that it will help others, that I will be allowed to continue, because I'll read every card that I have until both 3 ring binders are gone. Then I have a mind, body, and spirit series that I will be reading after all of these are done. Excuse me. Um, but I'm going to, I'll keep doing them as long as I can. And here in a minute, I'm going to do, I believe I'm up to chapter 3 or 4. I'll have to look through my book, my Wicca Solitary Practitioner Guide, because that's one of the things that is in my schedule to do a certain day of the week, but I haven't been able to, sadly, to keep up with the consistency of it. Let's see. Okay, I'll have to find. Okay. Guess this is where I left off or something. What chapter was that? Chapter 3, Magic. Huh. I'll have to look. I'm not sure if I've already done this one. tools. Maybe it is. I guess I stopped there. But to alleviate and keep someone from being confused when they watch this later, I guess I'll just do chapter 3 again. And then if I find out later that I've already got chapter 3 on here, then, well, I'll know that, okay, next time do chapter 4. Chapter 3, Magic. And again, this is the Wicked Solitary Practitioner Guide by Scott Cunningham. It's common knowledge, even among the masses, that witches practice magic. They may have misguided ideas concerning the type of magic performed, but the witch is firmly linked in popular thought with the magical arts. Wicca is, as we have seen, a religion that embraces magic as one of its basic concepts. This isn't unusual. In fact, it's often difficult to discern where religion ends and magic begins in any faith. Still, magic plays a special role in Wicca. Oh, I guess is this my Janet Babius one? Yep. Thought it was my Janelle Mabius one. Um, it's difficult to discern where religion ends and magic begins in any faith. Still, magic plays a special role in Wicca. It allows us to improve our lives and return energy to our ravaged planet. Wiccans also develop special relationships with the goddess and god through magic. This doesn't mean that every spell is a prayer, nor are invocations differently worded spells. Through working with the powers that the god and the goddess embody, we grow close to them, calling upon their names and visualizing their presence during spells and rites creates a bond between deity and human. Thus, in Wicca, magic is a religious practice. I've defined magic a number of times in my books. Surprisingly, this is a difficult task. My latest, most refined definition is magic is the projection of natural energies to produce needed effects. There are three main sources of this energy: personal power, earth power, and divine power. Personal power is the life force that sustains our earthly existences. It powers our bodies. We absorb energy from the moon and sun, from water and food. We release it during movement, exercise, sex, and childbirth. Even exhaling releases some power, though we recoup the loss through inhaling. In magic, personal power is aroused, infused with a specific purpose, released and directed toward its goal. Earth power is that which resides within our planet and in its natural products: stones, trees, wind, flame, water, crystals, and scents all possess unique specific powers that can be used during magical ritual. A Wiccan may dip a quartz crystal in salt water to cleanse it and then press it against an ailing person's body to send its healing energies within. Or herbs may be sprinkled around a candle that is burned to produce a specific magical effect. Oils are rubbed onto the body to effect internal changes. Divine power. Divine power is the manifestation of personal power and earth power. This is the energy that exists within the goddess and god, the life force, the source of universal power that created everything in existence. Wiccans invoke the goddess and god to bless their magic with power. During ritual, they may direct personal power to the deities, asking that a specific need be met. This is truly religious magic. And so, magic is a process in which Wiccans work in harmony with the universal power source that we envision as the goddess and god, as well as with personal and earth energies, to improve our lives and to lend energy to earth. Magic is a method whereby individuals under none but self determined predestination take control of their lives. Contrary to popular belief, magic isn't supernatural. True, it is an occult hidden practice, steeped in millennia of secrecy, slander, and misinformation, but it is a natural practice, utilizing genuine powers that haven't yet been discovered or labeled by science. This doesn't invalidate magic. Even scientists don't claim to know everything about our universe. If they did, the field of scientific investigation wouldn't exist. The powers the Wiccans use will eventually be documented and so lose their mystery. Such has already partially occurred with hypnotism and psychology and may soon happen to extrasensory perception. Magnetism, indeed, was a firmly established aspect of magic until it was discovered by science. But even today, magnets are used in spells and charms, and such forces as these call up strange old feelings. Play with two magnets. See the invisible forces resisting and attracting in seemingly supernatural ways. Magic is similar, though it appears to be completely nonsensical with no basis in fact. It operates along its own rules and logic. Simply because it isn't fully understood doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Magic is effective in causing manifestations of needed change. This isn't self deception. Correctly performed magic works, and no amount of explaining away alters this fact. Here's a description of a typical candle ritual. I'll use myself as an example. Say I need to pay $100 phone bill, but don't have the money. My magical goal, the means to pay the bill. I decide to use a ritual to help focus my concentration and visualization. Checking my magical supplies, I discover that I have green candles, patchouli oil, and a good selection of money drawing herbs, paper, and green ink. At my altar, I light the candles representing the goddess and the god while silently invoking their presence. Next, I ignite a charcoal block and sprinkle cinnamon and sage onto the block as a magical prosperity incense. I draw a picture of the phone bill on the paper, clearly marking the amount in numerals. While drawing, while drawing, I visualize that the paper is no longer just a piece of paper; it is the bill itself. Then I sketch a square around the bill, symbolizing my control over it, and mark a large X through it, effectively canceling out its existence, as will occur when it is paid. I now start to visualize the bill being paid in full. I might write this over the picture, making it appear to have been stamped with these words. I visualize myself looking in my checkbook, seeing that the balance will cover the check, and then writing the check itself. Next, I rub a green candle with patchouli oil from each end to the middle while saying something like the following: I call upon the powers of the Mother Goddess and the Father God. I call upon the forces of the earth, air, fire, and water. I call upon the sun, moon, and stars to bring me the funds to pay this bill. Still visualizing, I place the candle in the holder directly over the picture of the bill. I sprinkle herbs around the candle's base, stating and visualizing that each is lending its energy toward my goal. Sage, herb of Jupiter, send your powers to my spell. Cinnamon, herb of sun, send your powers to my spell. Once this is done, still visualizing my bill as paid in full, I light the candle and, as its flame shines, release the energy I've built up into the pitcher. I let the candle burn for 10 to 15 minutes or longer, depending on my ability to retain the visualization. I see the candle absorbing the energy I've put into the pitcher. I see the herbs streaming their energies into the candle flame, and the combined energies of the herbs, candle, patchouli oil, and pitcher, coupled with my personal power, pouring from the flame and out to bring my magical goal toward manifestation. When I can do no more, I remove the pitcher, light it in the candle, hold it as it burns for a few seconds, and then throw it into the small cauldron that sits beside my altar. Finished, I allow the candle to burn itself out, knowing that the ritual will take effect. Within a day or two, perhaps a week, I'll either receive unexpected or delayed money or will satisfy other financial obligations in a manner that frees me to pay the bill. How does it work? From the time I decide to do an act of magic, I'm doing it. Thinking about it sets personal power into motion throughout the whole process, gathering supplies, drawing the bill, lighting the candle, visualizing. I'm rousing and infusing personal power with my magical need. During the rite itself, I release this power into the candle. When I finally burn the pitcher, the last of these energies are released and free, set to work to arrange for me to pay the bill. Itchy nose. I may not be able to tell you exactly how magic works, only that it does work. Fortunately, we don't have to know this. All we must know is how to make it work. I'm no expert in electricity, but I can plug my toaster into a wall, socket, and burn my whole wheat bread. Similarly, the magic in magic, we plug into energies that stretch, crisscross, and zip around and through us. There are many ways to practice magic. Wiccans generally choose simple, natural forms, though some enjoy heavy ceremony, borrowing from the classical grimoires such as the Key of Solomon. Usually, however, practicing magic involves herbs, crystals, and rocks, the use of symbols and color, magical gestures, music, voice, dance, and trance, astral projection, meditation, concentration, and visualization. There are literally thousands of magical systems, even in Wicca. For instance, numerous magical ways exist to use crystals or herbs or symbols, and by combining them, more systems are created. Many, many books have been published outlining magical systems, and some of these are listed in the bibliography. In my books, I've discussed the powers of the elements, crystals, and herbs. In this work, the subject of rune magic is explored as an example of a self contained magical system with hints at combining it with others. Such systems aren't necessary to the successful practice of magic. Performing magical rituals simply by manipulating tools such as herbs and crystals will be ineffective, for the true power of magic lies within ourselves, the gift of deity. So, no matter the magical system, personal power must be infused with the need and then released. In Wiccan magic, personal power is recognized as our direct link with the goddess and God. Magic, therefore, is a religious act in which Wiccans unite with their deities to better themselves and their world. This is important. Magic is a positive practice. Wiccans don't perform destructive, manipulative, or exploitive magic because they recognize that the power at work in magic is ultimately derived from the goddess and God. Negative workings are absolutely taboo or evil. Magic is an insult to themselves, to the human race, to Earth, the goddess and God, and the universe itself. The repercussions can be imagined. The energies of magic are those of life itself. Anyone can practice magic within a religious context or not. If certain words or gestures pop into your mind while performing a spell and they seem right, by all means, use them. If you can't find a ritual to your liking or that fits your needs, create one. You needn't write fancy poetry or choreography for 30 singing incense bearers and 13 singing priestesses. That's just my phone. And it is not a number that I recognize, so I just sent it into voicemail because I shouldn't have any packages coming that I know of. Let me read that again because the phone interrupted it. Anyone can practice magic, within a religious context or not. If certain words or gestures pop into your mind while performing a spell and they seem right, by all means, use them. If you can't find a ritual to your liking or that fits your needs, create one. You needn't write fancy poetry or choreography for 30 singing incense bearers and 13 singing priestesses. If nothing else, light a candle, settle down before it, and concentrate on your magical need. Trust yourself. If you truly desire to know the nature of magic, practice it. Many are afraid of magic. They've been taught by non-practitioners that it's dangerous. Don't be scared. Crossing the street is dangerous too. But if you do it properly, you're fine. Of course, the only way you'll find this out is to cross that street. If your magic is infused with love, you'll be in no danger whatsoever. Call upon the goddess and God to protect you and teach you the secrets of magic. Ask stones and plants to reveal their powers. And listen. Read as much as you can, discarding negative or disturbing information. Learn by doing, and the goddess God and learn by doing, and the goddess and God will bless you with all that you truly need. And that, my lovelies, is chapter 3. And again, if I find out later that I've already got it on here, then I'll know the next time I do one, it'll be chapter 4. Nothing wrong with having something on here twice. But while I'm at it, let me put this stuff back so it's not taking up a bunch of room. Time to get out the big blue. Okay. Apparently, I'm up to lesson 6 already. Huh. Lesson 6 in Raymond Buckland's Big Blue Book. This lesson is about Sabbats. As I mentioned in the last lesson, there are 8 Sabbats in the course of a year. These are times to celebrate, to rejoice with the gods, and have a good time. No work or magic is done at a Sabbath, unless there is some emergency, such as a healing desperately needed. But there is much feasting and merriment. In the old days, before the persecutions, many different covens would come together to celebrate. There might be as many as several hundred witches from widely scattered covens, all congregating in one place to give thanks to the gods and to celebrate the Sabbath. In these modern times, I have seen similar gatherings, though not for a specific Sabbath, such as the pagan festival held in Michigan in 1981, where nearly 800 witches and pagans were in attendance. But whether you can join forces with others, or you celebrate as a single coven, or even as a solitary witch, the key word is celebration. As the goddess is honored with the phases of the moon, so is the god at certain phases of the sun. These are the lesser Sabbats that occur at the summer and winter solstice and the spring and autumn equinox. The 4 greater Sabbats are more in the nature of seasonal rather than specifically solar festivals, and are therefore times for general celebration with both God and goddess duly honored. Janet and Stuart Farrar, in their book 8 Sabbats for Witches by Robert Hale, London, 1981, suggest a deeper leat motif for the horn god, with a duality that they identify as the Oak King and the Holly King. Although I see much merit in this, I am going to stick to basics, as it were, and leave you to elaborate as the Spirit moves you. In simple terms, we can think of the god predominating in the winter, the dark half of the year, and the god as predominating in the summer, the light half of the year. This, of course, goes back to what I outlined in the first lesson, originating with the reliance on success in the hunt in the winter and nourishment of the crops in the summer. But there is more to it than that. Even without getting into the complexities of oak and holly kings, in neither half of the year should you think of the one deity being supreme, being there without his or her partner. The key word is predominant. In other words, the emphasis is on the one, but not to the total exclusion of the other. It should also be remembered, of course, that each deity, as with every individual, bears the attributes of both male and female. Sabbats start, as do all circle rituals, with the erecting the temple rite. You should follow this with a full moon or new moon ritual, if appropriate, for the Sabbath date. If the Sabbath falls at a quarter point, then omit this. Then comes the particular Sabbath ritual, which leads to cakes and ale. This is then followed by games and or entertainment and feasting in the suggested greater Sabbath rituals that I give below. You will find a general pattern that you may want to follow when writing your own rituals. It starts with a processional, then comes a hymn to the deity. Next is an enactment of the seasonal motif, followed by a declaration. These 2 segments give you wide scope for expression. The enactment can take many forms, from a solo performance to full coven participation in a mini play, meme, or dance. Since the declaration is, in effect, an explanation of the meaning and significance of the particular Sabbath, then it is possible to combine it with the enactment as in the form of a meme or dance accompanied by narration. Then comes the litany, a lead and response followed by dance, song, chant. If offerings are appropriate as at harvest time, then they should come before cakes and ale. Since we think of the god predominating in the dark half of the year and the goddess in the light half of the year, then the changeovers from one to the other should be included as a significant part of the rites occurring at Samhain and at Beltane. Here then are suggested rituals for the four greater Sabbats, starting with Samhain. The four lesser will be given next lesson. Note: it is nice to dress up the altar and circle for Sabbats. Should you choose to use an altar cloth at these times, it should be of the same color as the candles, or alternatively use the altar cloth in the color indicated, but with white candles. Samhain, Greater Sabbat. This is the time of year for getting rid of weaknesses. In the old days, the cattle least likely to make it through the winter would be cut from the herd and slaughtered. Covenanters should bring into the circle with them a small piece of parchment on which they have written down weaknesses or bad habits they would like to lose. The outer edge of the circle may be decorated with autumnal flowers, autumn flowers, branches, pine cones, small pumpkins, etc. There should be flowers on the altar. The altar cloth and candles should be orange. The horned helmet rests beside the altar. In the north quarter stands a cauldron containing material for a fire, regular kindling if the circle is outside, or a candle or a sterno burner if meeting inside. The erecting the temple is performed. This may be followed by a full moon or new moon rite. If appropriate, bell is then rung 3 times by a covenanter acting as summoner. So you ring the bell 3 times, ding, 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 and then say, haste, haste, no time to wait. We're off to the Sabbat, so don't be late. Priest or priestess says, to the Sabbat. All says, to the Sabbat. With priest and priestess leading, the coven moves Deosil around the circle, walking or dancing as each feels moved. It is appropriate to carry small drums or tambourines to give a beat. Coven circles as many times as they wish. At some point, as they move around, priest and priestess should start singing a hymn to the gods. This can be anything from a simple repetitive chanting of the names of the gods to a spontaneous song of praise, or can be one of the songs or chants given in Appendix C of this book. All can join in as the procession continues. If it is preferred, the coven can circle a number of times, then come to a halt and start the singing while standing in place. Priest, now is a time of change. Now do we leave the light and enter the darkness, yet do we do so gladly, for we know it to be but the turning of the mighty wheel of the year. Priestess, at this time of the year, the gates between the worlds are open. We call upon our ancestors, our loved ones, to pass through and join with us at this time. We invite them to delight in celebration with those they love. Then follows an enactment of a seasonal motif. This can vary greatly and may be based on any of a number of themes, including local beliefs and practices. Here are some examples: life, death, new life, death of the old king and crowning of the new, the turning wheel of the year, the killing off of those animals, cattle that would not survive the winter, return of the dead to rejoice briefly with the living, gathering of the harvest and storing for the winter, the creation of the world with chaos transformed to order. This enactment can take the form of a play, meme, or dance. At the end of the enactment, the bell is rung 7 times. Then one of the covenanters speaks. Covenanter, we are at the crack of time, for this day belongs neither to the old year nor to the new. And as there is no distinction between the years, so is there no distinction between the worlds. Those we have known and loved. Gotta turn the page. In ages past are free to return to us here in this meeting place. Reach out, each and every one of you, in your own way and feel the presence of one you have known and thought lost. From this reuniting, gather strength. Know, all of you, that there is no end and no beginning. All is a continuous turning, a spiraling dance that goes and returns, yet moves ever on. In that turning, Samhain is the sacred festival, marking the end of the summer and the beginning of winter. a time to celebrate, a time to welcome the God as he starts his journey down the tunnel of darkness that bears the light of Our Lady at its end. That's just my husband in the background giving our cats their treats for the day. Priest or priestess, the old year ends. Everyone, the new year begins. Priest or priestess, the wheel turns. Everyone, and turns again. Priest or priestess, farewell to Our Lady. Everyone, welcome to our Lord. Priest or priestess, goddess, summer draws to a close. Everyone, God, winter sets his foot upon the path. Priest or priestess, hail and farewell. Everyone, hail and farewell. Priest and priestess lead coven in a dance around the circle. This may be followed or accompanied by a song or chant. Priestess takes up horned helmet and stands before altar. Priestess, gracious goddess, we thank thee for the joys of summer. We thank thee for all thy bounty, the fruits, the crops, the harvest. Return again as the wheel turns and be with us once more. Even as our Lord accepts the mantle, walk with him through the darkness to come again into the light. Priest stands and faces priestess. She holds helmet high over his head. A covener stands by the cauldron with fire ready. Priestess, here do I display the symbol of our Lord, he who rules death and that which comes after, the dweller in the darkness, the husband, brother, guide us in all that we do, within and without this circle. With Our Lady at his side, may he lead us through hardship and bring us with hope into the light. Priestess places horned helmet on priest's head. As she does, Covener lights the cauldron fire. Covener, now is our Lord among us. Speak, for we are your children. Priest, behold, I am he who is at the beginning and at the end of time. I am in the heat of the sun and the coolness of the breeze. The spark of life is within me, as is the darkness of death. For I am he who is the gatekeeper at the end of time. Lord, dweller in the sea, you hear the thunder of my hooves upon the shore, and see the fleck of foam as I pass by. My strength is such that I might yet gentle ever as the lover. I am he whom all must face at the appointed hour, yet am I not to be feared, for I am brother, lover, son. Death is but the beginning of life, and I am he who turns the key. Priestess salutes priest one by one. Other coveners move around if they wish to. They may place an offering on the altar or before it. They then embrace and or kiss the priest and move on back to their places. As they pass the burning cauldron, they throw into it their piece of parchment, listing their weakness. Priest stands for a moment and meditates on his position for the coming half year. He then removes the helmet and replaces it beside the altar. Bell is rung 9 times. Then shall follow the ceremony of cakes and ale. After that, the clearing the temple is performed, so that there is plenty of room for fun, games, and entertainment, which may still take place around the altar if desired. The evening concludes with a feast, usually a potluck affair, with dishes brought by the coveners. Where are you going, babe?
Library.
Oh, okay.
And then pick up dinner.
Oh, okay. Sabbath. Before I read that, though, I whoops. I need to take a drink because my throat's getting kind of hoarse already. Just drinking some cherry Coke. In bulk. Greater Sabbath. This is the Feast of Lights. It is another fire festival. So there is again a cauldron containing the makings of a fire standing in the north quarter. Beside it lies a besom or broomstick, which is broom. This is the midpoint of the dark half of the year, the halfway point in the god's predominance. But although it is in that segment of the year's cycle, yet it is very much a festival of the goddess, particularly Brigid, Brigantia, Bride, and other variations. Beside the altar rests a crown of light, a circlet of candles. The altar cloth and candles should be brown. The erecting the temple is performed. This may be followed by full moon or new moon rite, if appropriate. Bell is rung 3 times by Covener acting as summoner. Summoner, haste, haste, no time to wait. We're off to the Sabbath, so don't be late. Priest or priestess, to the Sabbath. All to the Sabbath. With priest and priestess leading the coven, moves Deasil around the circle, walking or dancing. Circle as many times as you wish. Priest or priestess starts a hymn to the gods, and all join in. Finally, all halt and stop singing. Covener, now has our Lord reached the zenith of his journey. Second Covener, now does he turn to face the lady. Priest, though apart, they are one. Priestess, they are both the shadow and the light. Then follows an enactment of a seasonal motif, the midpoint in the sun's winter journey, sweeping out the old and starting anew. The running of the priests of the Lupercalia at the ancient Roman festival, the preparation of seed grain for growing in the spring, the inviting of the goddess of fertility to enter into the house and lodge therein. Bell is rung 7 times. Covener, our Lord now has reached mid-journey. Ahead he sees the light of Our Lady and the start of life anew. After this period of rest, this was the first festival of the Celtic year. This is the time when spring lambs are born and ewes come into milk. Spring itself is scented in the distance, and thoughts are on the goddess as much as on the god. But now the evergreens, the ivy, mistletoe, and holly, the rosemary and the bay, clear out the old, that the new may enter in. Priest or priestess, light to dark, all darkness to light. Priest or priestess, light to dark, all darkness to light. Priest or priestess, farewell lady, welcome Lord, all farewell Lord and welcome lady. Priest or priestess, all hail, all farewell. Priest or priestess, farewell, all hail, chant or song. Priestess stands before the altar with arms crossed on her breast. Priest kneels before her and kisses her feet. He then takes up the crown, stands and places the crown on her head. He then dances Deasil around the circle 3 times. As he passes the cauldron on the second circuit, a covener lights the kindling, candle, or whatever. As priest comes to the cauldron on his third circuit, he jumps over it. He then comes around and stops before the priestess. With a taper from the altar candle, he lights the candles on the priestess's crown. Priestess opens her arms and stands with legs apart and arms raised high. Priest, all hail, Our Lady of Light. All hail, Our Lady of Light. Covener, welcome thrice, welcome, triple goddess of life. Covener, mother of the sun, we welcome thee. Covener, goddess of fire, we invite thee in. Priest and priestess move around to the cauldron. Covener hands besom to the priestess. She hands besom to the priest with a kiss. Priest goes Deasil around the circle, sweeping out that which is no longer needed. When he returns to the north, he returns the besom to the priestess with a kiss. She then gives it to the first covener with a kiss. Covener sweeps around the circle. This is repeated with all coveners. When all have done, priest and priestess return to altar. Bell is rung 3 times. Then shall follow the ceremony of cakes and ale. After that, the clearing the temple is performed, so that there is plenty of room for fun, games, and entertainment, which may still take place around the altar if desired. The evening concludes with a feast. Beltane, Greater Sabbath. The outer edge of the circle and the altar may be decorated with flowers. The altar cloth and candles should be dark green. A crown lies beside the altar. This may be a crown of flowers, or it may be a silver crown decorated with silver crescent moons, or similar. In the north quarter stands a cauldron containing material for a fire, regular kindling, or a candle, or a sterno burner. In the east quarter is a maypole. The circle may be drawn extra large to accommodate it. The erecting the temple is performed. This may be followed by full moon or new moon rite, if appropriate. The bell is rung 3 times by a covener acting as summoner. Summoner. Haste, haste, no time to wait. We're off to the Sabbath, so don't be late. Priest or priestess, to the Sabbath, all to the Sabbath. With priest and priestess leading the coven, move Deicil around the circle, walking or dancing as each feels fit, with small drums or tambourines giving a beat. Circle as many times as you wish. Priest and priestess start singing a hymn to the gods, and all join in. Eventually, all halt and singing ends. Priest, the Lord has reached the end of his journey. Priestess, the lady sets her foot upon the path. Then follows an enactment of a seasonal motif, triumphant return of the goddess from the world between lives, creativity, reproduction, start of one of the breeding seasons for animals, both wild and domestic, dancing about the maypole, driving of cattle between two fires to ensure a good milk yield. Bell is rung 7 times. Covener, the gates swing back and forth, and all may freshly pass through. Our Lord has reached the ending of his journey to find the lady awaiting him with warmth and comfort. This is a time for joy and a time for sharing. The richness of the soil accepts the seed, and now is the time that seeds should be spilled. Togetherness brings joy and abundance fills the earth. Let us celebrate the planting of abundance, the turning of the wheel, the season of the lady. Let us say farewell to the darkness and cry greetings to the light. Lord and lady become lady and lord as the wheel turns and we move ever on. Priest, the wheel turns, all without ceasing. Priestess, the wheel turns, all and turns again. Priest, farewell to our Lord, all welcome to the lady. Priestess, God, winter ends his reign. All, as goddess, summer turns to face the light. Priestess, hail and farewell. All, hail and farewell. Priest and priestess lead coven in a dance about the circle leading to the maypole. Each of the coveners, takes a ribbon and dances around the pole with it, intertwining one with another. This is continued till all ribbons are tied around the pole, symbolizing the union of male and female, the joining of all together. A suitable chant song to sing while dancing is found in the Gardnerian book. It is Gerald Gardner's version of a Rudyard Kipling poem. Oh, do not tell the priests of our art, for they would call it sin. But we shall be in the woods all night, a conjuring summer in. And we bring you good news by word of mouth for women, cattle, and corn. Now is the sun come up from the south with oak and ash and thorn. Priest and priestess return to the altar. Priestess stands with head bowed and arms crossed on her breast. Priest takes up her crown and holds it over her head. Priest, our Lord, with the lady at his side, has brought us through the darkness to the light. It was a long journey that was not easy, yet did the gods show strength, and through them did we all grow and prosper. Now may they both continue. Now may the lady with her Lord at her side move on down the path, spreading her light and driving out darkness. Priestess moves to stand with legs astride and arms up and outstretched. Priest lowers the crown onto her head. As he does so, the cauldron fire is lit by one of the coveners. Covener, now is Our Lady among us. Speak, lady, we are your children. Priestess lowers her arms and spreads them wide to her coveners. Priestess, I am she who turns the wheel, bringing new life into the world and beckoning those who pass along the ways. In the coolness of the breeze, you hear my sighs. My heart is in the rushing of the wind. When you thirst, let my tears fall upon you as gentle rain. When you tire, pause to rest upon the earth that is my breast. Warmth and comfort do I give thee, and ask for nothing in return, save that you love all things, even as yourself. Know that love is the spark of life. It is always there, always with you, if you but see it. Yet you need not seek afar, for love is the inner spark, the light that burns without flicker, the amber glow within. Love is the beginning and the end of all things, and I am love. Priest kisses priestess. One by one, coveners move around to kiss priestess and to lay their offerings on the altar. When all have returned to their places, priest and priestess join hands and lead them in a dance as singles or couples around the circle. As they come to the cauldron, they jump over it. After several times they halt. The bell is rung 3 times. Then shall follow the ceremony of cakes and ale. After that, the clearing the temple is performed, so that there is plenty of room for fun, games, and entertainment, which may still take place around the altar if desired. The evening concludes with a feast. Carpal tunnel's acting up. Lunasaw, or Greater Sabbath. Got to take another drink. That's a lot of reading. Lunasaw. Ow. Greater Sabbath. Summer flowers are on the altar and around the circle. The altar cloth and candles should be yellow. The erecting the temple is performed. This may be followed by full moon or new moon rite if appropriate. The bell is rung 3 times by Covener acting as summoner. Summoner. Haste, haste. No time to wait. We're off to the Sabbath, so don't be late. Priest and priestess to the Sabbath, all to the Sabbath. With priest and priestess leading the coven, move Deasil around the circle, walking or dancing, circle as many times as you wish. Priest or priestess starts a hymn to the gods and all join in. Finally, all halt and stop singing. Covener. The powers of life and death are held by the gods. Covener. Great is the power of the mighty ones. Covener. God is old yet young. Covener. And the power is his. Then follows an enactment of a seasonal motif, death and rebirth of the god, leading to a great harvest, thinning of plants toward a better harvest, strength and testing, killing of older god by younger god, with funeral games to honor the dead one. Bell is rung 7 times. Do we remember her brother, lover, and husband? Great is his power through his union with the goddess, and through his death and rebirth as the younger son is the harvest assured and the power passed on. To grow and spread wide to all he loves. Remember the Lord, yet in him ever see the lady. Praise the lady, and through her, the Lord. Priest, blessed be the lady of the circle. All, and blessed be her Lord. Priestess, may the surplus be drawn from the land. All, that the body may be filled with strength. Priest, power to the Lord. All, and power to the lady. Priestess, let the old wane, all, that the young may wax anew. Priest, ever turns the wheel, all, ever onward. Priest and priestess lead the coven in a dance about the circle. This may be followed or accompanied by a song or chant. All except priest and 1 male covener sit. Priest then dances around Deasil between the seated coveners and the line of the circle. Male covener dances around widdershins between the coveners and the altar. In other words, 1 outside the ring going clockwise and 1 inside going counterclockwise. As they pass each other, they strike hands over the coveners' heads. Coveners may, if they wish, clap the beat for them to dance to, shouting "Loo" at the striking of hands. They circle and strike hands 12 times. At the 12th strike, the priest drops to the ground, and covener jumps over the seated ones to run once around the circle. Deasil. Now along the priest's path, returning to the priest, he helps him to his feet, and they embrace. All cheer and come to their feet. Priest, Lady and Lord, we thank thee for all that has been raised from the soil. May it grow in strength from now till harvest. We thank thee for this promise of fruits to come. Let the power of our Lord be in each and every one of us, at this time and throughout the year. All, so mote it be. The bell is rung 3 times, then shall follow the ceremony of cakes and ale. After that, the clearing of the temple is performed, so that there is plenty of room for fun, games, and entertainment, which may still take place around the altar if desired. The evening concludes with a feast. So it's is pretty, pretty simplified. I mean, it sounds complicated, but a lot of it depends on how complicated you want to make it or how easy and simple. Because even the most easy and simple can be as equally as powerful as anything else. So okay, lesson 6 questions. So get out your pen and paper and write these down if you like, and go try to get this book. Go through the section and do your lessons if you like. And it'll just be, one step closer to the knowledge of, witchcraft, the god and goddess, how Wicca works, and all the many different types of forms of religions that are out there. And I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but Raymond Buckland is no longer with us. I believe that he is deceased. But let me check that on my phone because I don't want somebody going, no, he's not. He's alive and fine. Because the last time I saw him several years ago, he was already pretty old. Is Raymond Buckland still alive?
According to Wikipedia, Raymond Buckland, whose craft name was Robat, was an English writer on the subject of Wicca and the occult, and a significant figure in the history of Wicca, of which he was a high priest in both the Gardnerian and Sikhs Wicca traditions.
Born August 31st, 1934, London, United Kingdom. Died September 27th, 2017 in Ohio, so he's gone. Parents, Stanley Thomas Buckland, Eileen Lizzie Wells. Spouse, Tara Cochran, M. 1983, Rosemary Moss, M. 1955. But yep, this is what he looked like when I met him. The last time I saw him. So he's gone. I kind of figured he was, blessed be. But, hopefully he sees this as another part of the reason why I am doing this and sharing it with others is it's my own personal way of honoring his memory and how much he has meant to many of us that follow the Wiccan path. Me, I primarily can still consider myself Wiccan, but here lately I also embrace the eclectic, meaning I don't just do only strictly Wiccan magic. I do other types of magic as well. So blessed be Mr. Buckland. I'm glad I got to meet you once. And he actually signed a little autograph book that I have that it was a Harry Potter autograph book. And he wrote Love and Light in it or something, and Raymond Buckland. So sorry that he's gone. Another good one gone, but he taught us a lot. May his memory and teachings live on through me and many others who loved and adored him and cherish him still to this day. Lesson 6 questions. Number 1, the Sabbats are holidays, a time to celebrate and rejoice with the gods. List the 8 Sabbats and then dates they fall on this year. Describe what each Sabbat commemorates and relate how you celebrated each one. Question 2, make up, meaning create or write a hymn or song appropriate for a ritual occasion of your choice. 3, create your own version of a favorite ritual. 4, describe your enactment of a seasonal motif and the declaration from a favorite Sabbath ritual. Examination questions for lesson 6. 1, a coven member wishes to work some love magic at the next circle, which happens to be Imbolc. Can she or he do so? If not, why not? When can she or he do it? Number 2, at which Sabbats are the god and the goddess honored? Number 3, at the height of summer, which deity is supreme to the exclusion of the other? Number 4, if the Sabbat date coincides with a full moon, whereabouts in the ceremonies would you perform the full moon rite? Number 5, which Sabbat marks the shift of emphasis from goddess to god? Which marks the shift back from god to goddess? Number 6, is Yule one of the 4 greater Sabbats? And then down here it says, please read 8 Sabbats for Witches by Janet and Stuart Farrar. I do not have a copy of that yet. Recommended supplementary reading, Seasonal Occult Rituals by William Gray. So there we have it, folks. Lesson 7 will be meditation, dreams, and the minor Sabbats. So I'm going to mark that spot, put that book up here in a minute, maybe do the spell of the day to, just to change it up a bit and, get some good content on here. So it's not a lot of me endlessly droning on about whatever, boring everybody. Okay. Now, the spell of the day is a good one. I really like it. Let me get over here and get it without hopefully knocking a bunch of stuff down or hurting myself in the process. Golly crap. Whew. There we go. Okay. And this is my spell a day book. Lead a charmed life all year long. The author's name is doesn't say. Okay, anyway, was just looking at some stuff that I had written on the front. Today is April the 8th. The spell of today is honoring your deities and protecting your home. Now, this one I myself would love to do, but I don't know that I have the items to do it. But if any of you that watch this later do have the items, then go for it. Just it's a fun way to make a magical day. In Hebrew mythology, the God of the Israelites sent the angel of death to Egypt, but he passed over any home visibly displaying allegiance to him by placing lamb's blood on the doorpost. Magical people often guard the entryway to their homes with talismans, which can be designed to pay honor and tribute to a home's patron deities. Select the talisman's ingredients and shape by learning all you can about your patron deities and their sacred symbols. As you place the talisman on your doorpost, dedicate it to your deities by name, then say, "On this dwelling I place a charm to ward away ill will and harm. By the sacred blessings of 3 times 3, as I will, so mote it be." And that's apparently a spell that Eden McCoy did, because that's her name's listed down here. The name of each spell has the name listed in the bottom of who did it. Like yesterday was Spell for Relationships. Estelle Daniels did that one. And I'll read it, because even though it was yesterday's spell, there's no hard and fast rule saying you couldn't do it today if you really needed it or whatever. To bring magic to your loved ones, you should consider relationships not just with your spouse or partner, but with your doctor, lawyer, accountant, anyone you have a one-on-one relationship with. To begin, burn a gray candle and think how your relationships with people affect your life. Release any negative feelings and may be determined to end any relationships which are damaging and negative. Release the person with love, understanding you need healthy and positive people around you. Spend a day determined to be polite even in the face of rudeness or adversity. Smile at strangers. Give the other guy a break. It can get you a break down the road. Tomorrow's spell is house closing. So I will read it. I don't know that I will read it necessarily tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to be busy. I'm going to Cincinnati with my sister Maria. As I said earlier, I think on here that we're going to the Universal Light Expo there. And we're looking forward to it. It's a big one. There's a lot to see. There's a lot of people that are having workshops there, and all things witchy that you could possibly think about. You would pretty much find there. You can find athames. You can find ritual tools. You can find spell materials. You can find all kinds of cool stuff. I recommend it to anybody that wants to go, but because this, I don't know how many are going to see this live stream. I don't know that any will show up tomorrow and go, hey, I saw your live stream yesterday. Good one. Nice to meet you. You know, if you see me there and you recognize me, I don't know that I'll be wearing my wig here, but, you know, maybe I will. I mean, if not, you know, I will try to do like a quick thing on here before we leave. Just a few seconds, say, okay, this is how I look. So if you see me there, and you want to come up and say hi and introduce yourself, please do, because I would love that. And this is more for people that I haven't met yet, which is kind of silly because I didn't put this one on anyone that could watch it. Only subscribers could watch it. But I think like the last thing I was going to do was I was going to do a daily card from a random deck of mine. So I'm trying to think. Let me go pick a deck and pick a random daily message for myself because nobody else is on here with me right now. So can't do it for anybody but myself. Okay, I think this is the Druid. Nope, this is the Medicine. This is the Medicine cards. Right at the top. I love these cards. This is why I ended with a box full of tarot decks, because I love these cards. This is a blank one. I'm just going through here. Hummingbird. I don't know why I did that. That's another blank one. Here's another blank one. I don't know why the blank ones got mixed in, because the blank ones really you're only supposed to use, well, you can use for different things, but you can use it. It's actually an instant scrying mirror. If you can get yourself into a nice deep meditation sometime and you have this deck, a complete deck, you know, buy it used if you can. But if you buy it new, even better, because new is going to guarantee that you get some blank shield cards. The name of the deck is Medicine Cards. This is the book. This is what the back of the deck looks like. And this is one of the critters on there. This is a turkey. But I think you get 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you get 9 of them. For some reason, I put hummingbird on here. I don't know why I did that. I wrote it in Sharpie, and then I have a little sticker of a witch. So I'm not sure why I did that. Unless maybe hummingbird is not one of the animals that's in here. Let me go back through again. See if I see a hummingbird. Because it's significant for some reason. I just don't remember why I wrote it. So it's like hummingbird. Why did I do hummingbird? Because I would think that that would be one of the animals in here. Guess not. I don't see it. Okay. So we'll see which of my daily animals comes and speaks to me through this deck today, because they're probably upset with me because I have all these card decks and I don't use them, you know. A lot of them sit for years before I'll use them. So I've been trying to listen to them more often. When I hear them calling me and telling me they have something to tell me, I try to listen and, you know, get out the deck and start reading. See what critters are trying to come through and what they have to say. I always do that to wake up the deck. Okay, doing the 5 piles or the 3 piles from the left to the right. Don't ask me. I don't know why that's done. I couldn't explain why it's done. But, you know, tarot readers. Oh, excuse me. At least a lot of them. I can't speak for really any of them but myself. They'll take their left hand and they'll do 3 piles to the left, and they'll take their right hand, pick up those 3 piles and do that. I don't know why. From this deck for today, what is the animal that wishes to come through and speak with me that has a message of something that I need to know. And he's reversed. So we'll see what has to say here. He's card 26. 25, sorry. Fox. Okay. Fox contrary. Watch out for wily fox. If this card has appeared reversed, someone may be watching you and trying to figure out your next move. If you look deeper, however, it may be that you are watching yourself to prove to yourself that you exist. If you have become a wallflower to the point of disappearing, you may need to decide that you are worth noticing. Contrary fox is as foolish as it is cunning, and you may have fooled yourself into believing that your low self-esteem is due to your being born plain or having an ordinary life. This is camouflage of a different sort, in that you have camouflaged your true desire to experience life with friends, with joy, and with purpose. In any case, you are put on notice to be aware of apathy and self-induced boredom. You may have to dig deeply to find what excites you enough to stir you across the wasteland to your dulled senses and live. Contrary fox may also be telling you that you have become too visible and climbing to a place of recognition. Oftentimes, the envy or jealousness of others is thrown in your face. If you are feeling attacked, withdraw. It may be time to assume the attitude of the hermit and deck yourself in the cloak of invisibility. To write contrary fox in this situation, call on Armadillo and name your boundaries. Then call on the family's protector to show you the art of camouflage. Once out of the line of attack, you can resume the role of being your foxy self. Become fox and feel the joy of knowing the playground of your life. You may just find the chicken coop full of intriguing morsels of delight. And I just noticed that somehow there's some cards that managed to get themselves into my book. And there is a hummingbird right there. Wow. Amazing. So, I wonder, I guess Fox is saying, hey, watch out, or whichever one of these messages is Fox. But there's really no need for me to read it again because that would just be silly. I mean, I could read it personally to myself, but see, I'm going over in my head. Did I do everything that I set out to do? I don't have my scheduling book handy, or I would look at it. Or maybe I should go ahead and get it so I can see, where, if I got everything done that I meant to do. But let me go ahead and move this, because sometimes it's just easier, to move it out of the way than to try and, move myself around it and not knock it over or something. Okay. Come here. I really hope, no offense to her because I love her dearly and we're going to be spending the whole day together tomorrow, but I hope that Maria doesn't come up today because I could use a break from socializing. Okay, let me see here. Okay, nature cards, blue book, Wicca, Wiccan rituals, daily card reading. Yep, got everything. Now, I'm going to have to go back here and get me another page set up for a different lineup for a schedule that I will keep trying until I finally do it to where I can do it consistently, as I wrote it on my schedule. to do. Like on Mondays, I do this thing. On Tuesdays, I do this thing. On Wednesdays, I do this thing. Um, so that covers everything. Again, I'm not sure what was up with the hummingbird and why I wrote that in there, because there is a hummingbird card. Oh well, something to meditate on, I suppose. And I'm going to go ahead and put these blank cards on top here. I need to get me some little hair bands to put around this to keep the cards intact, because that just seems weird to me that 3 random cards worked their way into the book. It's like, I don't remember doing that, but okay. So that again was my medicine deck. It is what I would call the shaman's deck. I did the spell of the day. I did the spell for yesterday, and hopefully tomorrow, once we get back from the ceremony, from the Yuli, I won't be too wiped out, and I'll do another live stream and at least do the spell a day, and maybe do like a smaller live stream with like fewer items. But because I haven't been able to do things consistently yet, I'm just decided, you know what? For every week that goes by that I don't stick with my schedule, then whenever I do a live stream, I got to do everything on my schedule, in my opinion, to balance everything out, because you got to have consistency when you're doing stuff like this. Plus, I wanted to see what Kelly Zekin's response was. Forgive me, Kelly, for saying your last name, because, well, you don't have to worry, because the only people that are able to view this are just my followers. No, she's not on the phone or anything. I'm just saying that out loud more for myself. I will try to do the spell of day more often, but again, it's another one of those things you have to commit to. And if I'm going to do it, the best time of day for me to do it is right when I get up, either before or after I have breakfast, and then, just do whatever I'm doing the rest of the day. So I guess that's all for now. Love y'all. Blessed be. Kelly, Anna, I will do a Marco Polo. Explain to you that if you want to see any of my live streams, I'm pretty sure you don't have to join to look at any of my live streams. You can just punch in my name, either Janet Mabius or Janelle Mabius, and you'll see the videos that I have up. And I try to, the YouTube automatically dates them. So I'm going to go for now. I hope you all liked it. In the future, I will try to have some other, interesting things on here, and be reading from some of my other books. And it's all my way of trying to help those of us out there that maybe would love to have the Raymond Buckland Blue Book but can't afford it. Maybe the place that they live. This is my cat, Kalika. But all my subs know my cat. Now I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Kalika. You distracted me. Yeah, I completely lost it. Anyway, I'm going to go, and I will talk to you all later. Blessed be. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.